Do you want to paint the hallway?
Are we really painting the hallway?
I think we should paint the hallway.
Okay, YouTube family, for once this isn't me. For once this is not my fault. Today, I went to the hardware store. I was getting paint.
You did.
For the Aztec in the pantry because we're working on the pantry, Philip. We're working on the pantry.
I may have done something. And Elysia, it was so indecisive on what color we should paint in the hallway here. I think I found the solution.
Do you see what happens when I leave him unsupervised? Unsupervised, Philip gets into mischief.
I don't think so. I think that looks great.
We have decided, while we were struggling with conflicting colors of the tile in the pantry, that we are going to do a really beautiful, deep, orangey rust kind of color. It's not entirely the color of our horses.
It is totally the color of our horses.
But it's the color of our horses. And so we decided to do that color for the actual pattern in the pantry.
Shamelessly, the color of our horses.
We did do one or two of the tiles in the pantry room and it looked amazing. And we were like, bang on, we got it. The yellow wasn't perfect. The blue still didn't feel quite right. But this orangey color with the bluish undertones of the washer and dryer looks amazing. I can't wait to show you. But then Philip got a little carried away.
I didn't get carried away.
He didn't really get carried away.
I maybe got a little carried away.
So when we first got here, the staircase was already painted white.
Right.
And you, as many, I don't even know, 3,000 comments or something on that video was like, Elysia English, you did not paint your staircase white when you have a house full of boys, 3 dogs,
we do,
and us like living on acreage.
And the horses might come inside.
And the horses might fill up. See, I will no longer leave him unsupervised, YouTube family.
Mom's been calling and she's like, she's counting down the days when she gets a FaceTime and the horses are actually standing in the living room here.
We decided when we got here, because the staircase looked so rough, that we would just use paint that we already had, some white porch and floor paint, and we would just roll the stairs a coat or two and just do one quick coat of poly just so that we could clean them and they would be somewhat livable. Just felt a little bit fresher. It wasn't our wear and tear on the stairs.
Right.
But now it's been a year and a half that we've been here with just that quick roll we did, and the stairs look awful. And every week we're like, what color are we gonna do with the hallway? Or are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do that? Because this is such a big space, and we've just honestly been struggling with what color scheme to go with for the house like as a whole, because like we mentioned in yesterday's video, we like a lot of different styles. We love those vintagey colors. We love the Canadiana styles. We love the ranchy kind of vibes. We like a lot of different styles, and so we decided, forget it. We're not even gonna pick a style. We're just gonna go with what we like and hope that it all goes together in the end. And we all collectively love the color of our horses. So we're painting. Philip started painting this staircase, this amazing color.
YouTube family, what do you think?
I think he's onto something. And let's be honest, it's just paint. And so we're gonna go with it. But we've been staring from the living room into this space, staring at how we're gonna have our gold wood and like white frames that eventually will have our family photos in it. We're missing a frame because I knocked it off with the vacuum the other day. But we scrub the stairs, prep the stairs, and we're gonna start painting.
Yeah.
We started, this was our little tester that we stared at for the rest of the afternoon, and we're kind of obsessed, so.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Let's
okay, are you ready? I'm gonna paint mostly with the paintbrush for a bit and try to get some of these spindles, like railing done, and then we can kind of roll all of this. So our plan is to paint all the spindles, the railing, the banister here, and then these triangular caps here, but not this white trim. So we can separate that from the tile that has only been primed, it's not been painted. And then this will be white. These back pieces here will be white.
Right.
Or should it be orange part there?
Well, we can leave that white and then we'll see.
I'm not sure if this should be orange or not, but this definitely is going to be white, and then this is going to be white. So let's get that far. Because I feel like if that's going to be the orange color, then that side's basically the same thing.
Kinda.
Or is that the baseboard? That's kind of the baseboard on that part. Okay, well, whatever. Let's get
it's
to
kind
that
of on
point
this,
first.
yeah.
Okay, do you want Do you want to roll and me paint, or you want to both try to paint spindles first and then
sure, we'll paint both.
We might want to actually go to bed tonight. We might need to walk up the staircase.
Oh, how are we gonna do that? We're gonna have to
let's do the
float
spindles
up.
and the banister and the side first. See how far we get, and then.
Okay.
Why do we start projects in the middle of the night?
Because that's what we do.
It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep, 'cause I'm not tired. I'm thinking about the days we used to shine when we were young. I told you that we should start a band and reach for the sky. It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep. I'm just not tired. I can hear the raindrops falling. It's cold outside and I kinda feel like calling, but it's too late now. I just miss you. I just miss you.
Oh my gosh. I lost my boot again.
We were such a constellation, right? No, you'd agree.
So we currently have one full coat on the whole staircase, and I've just stuck just a few things in the hallway here just to see a little bit of decor and just kind of make sure it's all gonna come together. But I think it looks amazing. The lighting in here is pretty dull today because it's a really rainy, kind of gloomy day outside, but I think you can get the idea with just the bit of light that's coming in, how this is going to really add some warmth to the hallway, not to mention some character, a bit of color, and it's really gonna tie in with everything else that we're gonna do on the main floor. Okay, I am about to take off all of the yellow Aztecs in the back, and I'm about to take off that blue Aztec that you see there, because we are going with this orange color here. It's going to complement with the blue that's pulling out of the washer and dryers. It's not gonna clash with the gold. I think it looks great. So I'm going to leave that one there. It was just a rough one, so this one's actually gonna come off and make it nice and solid. That is the color that I'm going with. I've made my decision. I'm taking it all off and doing the same spots that you already see the stencil. I'm going to be doing with that orange color that Philip chose for the hallway. I think he's right. It's going to look amazing. And because we have that bluish color in the actual washer and dryer with the gold, it's just gonna pull with the complementary color, and I think it's gonna work in the end. It's gonna be much more subtle than the yellow, not as bold as the blue, and it's just gonna be a little bit of a pattern with just a little bit of a pop, but not anything that's like not organic or really neutral looking. And then I can kind of match any other colors I wanna put in here. I think it's gonna be good. Let's go for it. So you can see there was a couple here that I didn't have the poly on, and then there was some that I did. So you can see these ones are a lot harder to get off. So I'm just using a really thick like scouring pad to be able to scrub them off. And I guess that's a good test of what is more durable for me to be able to do this when I do get the color on right, like that orange one. When I do 1, 2, or even 3 coats of the poly, they are not gonna come off unless I really want them to. You know, with like splashing of water or something. They're gonna be pretty protected because these are actually pretty tricky to get off. Okay, bye-bye stencils on the tile. So this looks really plain now. All of that yellow and blue gone. I do have the one orange one there. So now we're going to install it back on. I'm heading to the Cricut. So I do have a Cricut stencil product. This is just regular Cricut vinyl. They didn't have very much of it, so I didn't think I would have enough for the whole wall. So since this is a color of vinyl that I don't use very often and I had a big roll of it, I just decided to use this instead. But if you're gonna do this for yourself, you might wanna use the actual painting Cricut stencil that they have, because I think it would work a lot better. I'm doing it so that when I put this on, I very quickly, before it gets dry, start removing it. Otherwise, it will be so strong that it will pull my paint off on the edges, like you saw it did with my blue one the other day. It's just, this is such good quality vinyl because it's actually Cricut brand vinyl that it will literally just take it right off, because this vinyl that I'm using is not entirely meant for making stencils like this. The actual blue tinted stuff that's actually for stencils is what you need to use. But this works fine for me. And again, I'm just using what I have. So this project doesn't cost me any more money for when I'm working on the pantry right now. And like I said, I didn't have very much of the stencil vinyl left. So this was just what I had. I knew I could use to get this job done for right now. The other idea would be just to pick a color of vinyl that you really like and then just have that on the actual pattern instead. That way you could always change it whenever you felt like it. Just use a permanent or even a removable vinyl. But I just wanted to paint mine on. There you go. You can see that it's starting to take shape now. It looks really nice with the blue gray that we have for the washer. I think there was some questions about whether or not it was black or if it's blue or gray or what, but it is a blue undertone. It's like a dark charcoal. It's pretty much the color of the exterior of our house. And then we did the gold on it to match the faucets and stuff. So I think this looks so much better than the yellow or the blue, but let me know what you think. So I wanna get this finished up for the rest of the night tonight because we are itching to get started at our next project, which is going to be finishing up the entryway and actually building our entry. Some of you have never even seen the front door entry space. It's a very odd shape. The door opens up to it, and then you can walk into the large hallway where you see we're working on the staircase today. So that is going to be a complete makeover. The wall is falling apart, the tin is coming off. There was a little bit of water leaking at one point in that spot. The windows haven't been done. The framing isn't finished in that room. There's actually a hole above the door. There's so much to do in that space. And so when we're done the pantry, we want to finish working on the hallway and the entryway. So that is the last bit of work that we need to do on the main floor to have each of the rooms on the main floor basically renovated to how we want to have them right now before we can start working on upstairs. And boy, there is so much work to do upstairs, but I don't want to leave that small spot in the front unfinished while the rest of the rooms on the main floor are looking so lovely and like styled and put together. Just kind of like an eyesore right when you walk in. It's like, don't judge a book by its cover, but you really have to when you first walk in our front door. So I want to get finished up this pantry in the next day or two so we can move on to working on that entryway space. Okay, so this is the end of the first coat of the staircase. It's pretty dark in here now that the sunlight has gone down, but I think you get the idea of what it looks like. So right now we have just this credenza here in the hallway. I still need to do painting at the top railing that kind of goes into our top foyer, and then obviously another coat of paint, but I think it looks really nice. So let me know what you think. And then what I've done is, since this room is just primed on this side, I've just added this little bench here that I need to cut down because it's just a little bit long before the trim here. So I'm gonna do a little DIY on this bench and shorten it just so it's not as lengthy. And I'm going to put a coat hook rack above here. And then I want to show you just sort of like what it's going to look like. The front entry space, as I mentioned, is not finished. And then we're going to be building a huge cabinet in here. So there's no point in doing like too much cleanup in this space until we get the rest of the wood, like you can see there for the pantry, moved and done over the next day or two while we wait for the reveal of the pantry space. But this is kind of what we got going on right now. So overall, we're really happy with the way that it turned out. I wish we still had some sunlight from the day today, but we worked through right till dark, getting the codes on the staircase and working on the tiles in the pantry room. We want to be able to reveal that in the next day or so. So it was really important for us to get that going and just work literally until we couldn't work anymore today. But we need to still do things like take down the frames in the hallway here and be able to put in our family photos, rearrange how they're going to be in the actual stairwell. Again, this hallway is just primed, so this hallway needs to get painted, but we're gonna wait and do that when we're done pulling all the wood through for the pantry in the next couple of days, and when we start working on the front entryway. That way we're not painting and then creating a whole bunch of dust or dinging any walls or door frames when we pull through the last few pieces of wood that we need to use. So let me know what you think of the staircase. Did Philip win with this one? I think he was really onto something, and I personally love the way that it looks, and I now am absolutely in love with the tiles in the pantry room. So much different than the blue and the yellow, but I think it just works, and it's gonna go with everything else that we have planned for the remainder of the house, because we have big plans for upstairs, We also have a few things that we want to add to the main floor once we get all the rest of these main functions done. So stay tuned for our next episode. We'll be revealing our laundry room pantry.